So what is more valuable, cash flow or equity in property? Is net worth more important than cash flow? What should you really be after? That's a great question. So you can't spend equity in properties. You have to pull that equity out through a refinance, and you're not always going to be able to do that when you think you can do it in the amount of time you need to be able to do it. Whereas if you have cash flow and cash, then you have the ability and opportunity to be able to deploy that capital into other opportunities, other deals, things like that. So equity, yeah, that builds your net worth and that's great. It looks good on your balance sheet. But if you can't tap that equity, if you can't pull it out when you need it to take advantage of a deal or an opportunity, then I would rather have the cash flow coming in. And the reason I bring this up is if you're looking at a deal and there is no cash flow in that deal, or it's slightly negative, but maybe you have a little bit of equity, should you do that deal? Or should you buy one that may have less upside, less equity, but has more cash flow? Right now, with interest rates where they are and with the market where it's at, I believe we're at a peak. I think cash flow is more important. I think banking on appreciation and equity in the long term may or may not work out, but cash flow is cash flow. It's going to be good no matter what the market cycle is doing. If a property is cash flowing, generally it's going to keep cash flowing. You can't always bank on raising rents. You can't always bank on building equity or having a property that's going to be worth more tomorrow than it is today. That doesn't always hold true, as we have seen back in 2009. Properties are just now getting back to the levels that they were before the crash the last time. So just be careful. Make sure you have cash flow. Make sure the property works. Equity is great, but you can't always spend equity. Cash flow is king, cash is king. It gives you the ability to move quickly and take advantage of opportunities. So that's kind of where it's at right now. Maybe in a different market cycle, things might be different, but you can't always bank on equity and appreciation. Cash flow is cash flow. It keeps coming no matter what the economy is doing, as long as people are able to pay their rent. Obviously, there's going to be times when certain tenants, certain people aren't going to be able to pay their rent, but generally in most cases, you're not going to completely lose your income. You might take a little dip, but cash flow is cash flow through economic cycles. Equity and appreciation are what take a hit.